The Obby community is huge, with thousands of players from both tiered Obbies and JTO. And Tower of Hell, but we can't really count that, can we? After playing Obbies with a wide range of both long and short Obbies, you might think, what is the longest Obby on Roblox? Could Obbies like Tower of Hell be the longest? No. I beat Tower of Hell 10 times, and the average length seems to be about 100 jumps. Which in itself seems pretty long, so how much longer could Obbies get? Well, technically, Obbies could be infinite, with some help of script. By simply making the game recognize you finishing a part of an Obby, it could respawn a new one infinitely. You might also mention Obbies like Mega Fun Obby, which has been getting built for over a decade. But honestly, Obbies with stages feel like a reset at every checkpoint, which just can't make it feel like the longest. Like seriously, just imagine this. The Obby community is huge, with thousands of players. Pause. Now I just showed you exactly how staged Obbies feel like. Would you really want to watch that whole video over again? Yeah, probably not. So since we can't use infinite Obbies and staged Obbies, does Tower of Hell come first? Absolutely not. A popular Obby that just straight up doubles Tower of Hell's jump count is Stairway to Heaven. Not only does this Obby have 200 jumps, it's also really damn hard. Like, really hard. No one has ever beaten it. Despite Stairway to Heaven having over 200 jumps, it's nowhere near the Obby with the most jumps. Misplaced in Time is also a really long Obby, clocking in at around 400 to 500 jumps. So that means this Obby is 5 times longer and a couple of 100,000 times harder than Tower of Hell. But this extremely long Obby doesn't even scratch the top 3 ranking of the longest Obbies. Another Obby that is ridiculously long but isn't really the most popular is Gateway to Elysium. This is the first Obby in this list to pass the 1000 jump mark. That means this Obby would have over an hour of playtime if you landed every single jump. From what I found, this Obby has been only beaten twice in practice mode. First by Captain Noodle, and then by Abyssal Chaos. Speaking of Abyssal Chaos, he's currently making the next possible longest Obby on Roblox, which currently has 1500 jumps. This Obby is called Infinity. Abyssal Chaos streams up to 8-hour building sessions on Infinity. So this could quite literally become the longest Obby after a while. But although 1500 jumps is a lot, it doesn't even come into the top 3. And that's for a reason. And that reason is towers. What? No, not that tower. These towers. A JTO floor is 100 by 100 by 100 studs big. This could fit a lot of gameplay. I mean like 100 to 200 jumps per floor. Most towers also have outside sections that can be as long as a floor, but towers are restricted to 10 floors per tower. So this is where citadels come into play. Citadels in JTO range from 12 all the way to 25 floors. So this is where our third place Obby comes from. The third place in our longest Obby podium goes to Citadel of Void. This incredibly difficult citadel has over 1800 jumps, and its length isn't even brought to its absolute limit, only having 22 floors. Although due to its absurd length and difficulty, this Obby is deemed to be humanly impossible. But if you were to make a task or tool assisted speedrun on this, it would result in a 2 to 3 hour completion. But how could Obbies possibly be longer than this? Do people really want to spend months upon months building a single Obby? Well, yes, because the second longest Obby on Roblox is the Void. Surprisingly, this is not a tower. This is just a tiered Obby made extremely long. With over 2000 jumps and 4 hours of gameplay, this Obby is a genuine masterpiece. By looking at these extremely long Obbies, a thought might pop up. Why do people make such long Obbies? Well, for the Void specifically, it would be to test how patient Obbyists can be when dealing with 4 hours of gameplay. Being tier 12 at its hardest part, the Void isn't made to be difficult, it's made to be long. You might ask, but what about the Obbies like Citadel of Void and Gate of Elysium? The obbies are basically humanly impossible without any checkpoints, so what prompts the builders to make it if no one is beating it anyway? The answer to that question is actually quite simple. Games and gaming communities usually have a single level, or in this case an obby that is just infamous for being difficult. For example, in Minecraft, it's the end and beating the Ender Dragon. And Jato, being a single game, needed an infamous tower that everyone knew was the hardest and longest. Therefore, Citadel of Void was created. But the tiered obby community isn't a single collective game, it's hundreds of builders building their own obbies and putting them into their own account. This gives skilled builders the chance to make that infamous obby and gain respect with it. Currently, that obby in the community is Stairway to Heaven, and surprise surprise, it's really long and really difficult. Hopefully that explains why people make such long obbies. And now, let's get into what we all have been waiting for. The longest obby on Roblox, with 2 times more jumps than the Void. It is Tower of Hell. Oh, my bad, the Tower of Hell. With 209 floors, each one consisting of around 20 jumps, that equals to over 4,000 jumps. Tower of Hell was created in 2018, and almost every single floor since then has been added to the Tower of Hell. You used to be able to get the red halo in the original game after completing the Tower of Hell, but I'm not sure if that's still the case. I already know there's gonna be jokes about hard and long things in this video, but anyway, thanks for watching.